All right, so it's time to give you guys an introduction to TradingView, your base for technical analysis. And it looks very complicated and messy when you look at this here, but that is exactly what we will teach you not to do. Our mission is to teach you simplicity, to trade the simple way, to trade with minimal amounts of indicators and drawings on your chart. Why? Because simplicity is key in trading. You see things better. You want to see the chart. You want to understand what's going on. You don't want to get distracted by a lot of FUD on the charts, a lot of lines, a lot of indicators that are clogging up your vision of what's going on in the charts. So let's dive into it. So the first thing you do in your web browser's address page, you type in tradingview.com, tradingview.com, and this is what pops up here. What TradingView really is, it's a platform for you to draw on the charts basically, so you can do technical analysis, but it's also a place for communication. You have communities here, so you can share your charts like you see people have done here. You can share your charts, you can comment on people's charts, you can participate in different blogs that are on TradingView. You can see news here, you can see other useful information. You can even connect your broker. Not every broker, but some of the top brokers can be connected to TradingView, so you can trade directly from TradingView. So now we logged in on my profile, Jeremy, and I have a pro profile, and I recommend you guys also to get a pro membership on TradingView. Why? Because you have access to more, you can split screens and you can use much more indicators. It gives you access to more stuff basically. So let's look at a currency pair that I don't trade very often. Why? Because I want to have the chart naked so that there's no drawings on it. And when I click on it, I get this line chart up as you see here. But we want to get the advanced chart. So I press this button that says Se I superdiagram. So this is Swedish because I have a Swedish TradingView, but in English this is look at the super chart. So we want to get to the super chart. Boom. And when I click on it, this is what I get. So I get the RSI down here, it's an indicator, and I have the main chart up here. Now if I double click on the main chart, the RSI indicator disappears. If I double click again, it comes back. If I double click on the RSI indicator, boom, it fills the screen. Double click again, both are on the screen. Double click on the chart. Now we have only the chart here as we want to. This is how you remove indicators that you have under, and how you get those indicators to your screen or change indicators is here on this button, indicator. And here you can search for any type of indicator and you can use them. And as I said, if you have the pro membership, then you can use more than 5 indicators. If not, then you can use maximum 5 indicators. So you have a free version of TradingView. If you are a total beginner, then I recommend you to start with that. That is enough for you, but later on you will want to advance your membership. And every indicator that you pick will be in this list here. So here you see that I have 4 indicators that I use. If I click on this, I'll see them here. So if I click on this eye, then I will see them. All right. So now you see what type of indicators I use sometimes, very seldom. I will leave it to that for now. What is the most important things that you need to know and understand with TradingView? All right, so I have this cross, as you see here. It's this one here. I can choose if I want it to be a dot, an arrow, or something else, or eraser, so I can erase stuff that I've drawn. We stick to the cross. Why? Because now we see the level that we are at horizontally and vertically, and that's how we want to have it. So here on the vertical axle you have the price. This is the price movement. So here you see the different price level. If I want to zoom in, I will see more. All right, and here on the horizontal axle you see the time. So here you see the time that has passed. If you zoom in, you see it more. You see it more precise. If you zoom out, of course, you see a bigger time frame. If you want to zoom out macro and see much more on your charts, then you decide what time frame you want to be on. Each time frame here represent what time frame the candle is on. So now we're on a 4-hour time frame. It means that every candle represents 4 hours. This is 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. If you don't understand this concept, then I highly recommend you to get back to the candle training video. When you understand that, get back to this video again. So if we go down on an hourly time frame, then every candle represents 1 hour. But if we go out on a weekly time frame, now we really zoomed out. So you see that when I pull the vertical axle, I zoom in or zoom out. And when I pull the horizontal, same thing. So now we're very zoomed out. You see that we go back until 2016 here. Now let's say I don't want to be manually zooming here when I scroll on the charts. Then you hover your mouse over the vertical axle and you press the A that you see here. The L stands for logarithmic chart, but you want to have an automated chart. So you press A, boom. Now you see it automatically zooms in perfectly when I scroll. So here is all your tools that you need for TradingView. And on the top, you will find the trend line. But if you click on the arrow next to it, then you will see that there are many different lines that you can draw. And you can choose whatever is more convenient for you. I recommend you to play around with this so you understand what everything is, and you can use it for different occasions, for different purposes. It doesn't have to be exactly for a specific purpose because somebody said it on YouTube or I said it or it says so. The whole purpose with TradingView is for you to analyze your chart in the most convenient way. All right. You see that some of these tools has been marked out with a star. That means that I have put them to my favorites, and then they pop up down here. So let's say I take this one, boom, I click it, now I have it down here. Let's remove it. So trend line, of course, is very important. I use it very often, and that is basically lines that you can draw on the chart. All right, and let's say you have drawn this line and now you want to play around with this a little bit. So you can double click it. Whatever you draw on the TradingView, you can double click it. You can add a text to it. Now you see there's a text. You can choose if you want it in the center, on the right corner, on the left corner, on top, or in the middle like I have. Style everything. Now you can choose the color of the line, of course. And then you can choose thickness of the line. So you want a thin line or you want a fat line. Do you want to have it dotted? Do you want to have it striped like this? And do you want to have some kind of transparency through the line? So if I pull it full, then you don't see the line anymore. If I pull it like this, then you barely see it, but it's still there. But you see what's behind also. And then with the rest of the settings, I recommend you to play with it. But these are the most important settings that you need to understand. All right, so let's move on with the tools and let's look at what we got underneath the lines. Underneath that, we got the Fibonacci tools. And of course, the most important one, the Fibonacci retracement tool that we've been through in the Fibonacci training. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you to go back, watch it until you understand it, and then get back to this video. So Fibonacci, you pull it from a low to a top, or from a top to a low, from a swing point to a swing point. And same thing here. You see my settings. These are my settings on the different levels. I can decide what color I want to have and so on. I can decide if I want to have a trend line. You see that? From my swing points when I mark them out. The lines, I can decide if how fat I want them to be, if I want them to be striped or dotted or full line, and much more. But here is where you fix your settings and you make your Fibonacci according to your standards. And whenever you want to remove it, you just click it and you press delete. If you have a lot of drawings on your chart and you want to remove it, right click on the chart and click on remove drawings. Boom, everything is gone now. Okay, so here you have the Fibonacci tool. Now we're moving further down for the patterns. So these are tools for drawing patterns. I'm not going to go through these because these are for more advanced trainings or more advanced charting. Right now we're not at the level yet, so there will be a deeper in-depth TradingView training. Let's move on. Here you can choose the positions. So here you can choose the positions you want to draw out and much more, but these are the most important stuff. So for example, long position. If I want to dive into a long position from here, I want to mark it out on the chart, I can mark up my stop loss as you see here, my take profit. I have my long position. Let's say I want to do a short position and I want to do it from here. Stop loss, take profit, and that's that. But you can go into the settings, double click it, go to the settings and choose at what price is entry, at what price is your stop, and at what price is your profit, take profit. Underneath that you got the drawing tool. So here you got the pencil, you got the highlighter that I use a lot when I teach. So here you can highlight different sections in the market. And here you got the box tool. Very important when you want to draw out supply and demand zones, order blocks, and support and resistance. And it's the same thing here. You mark it out however you want, and then you double click it, and then you can choose. Do you want to have a border on it? Let's say you want to have it, and we want it to be white and a little bit thicker. Pick up the transparency, boom, you see the border. Let's say we want to change color to green. We want to have it non-transparent or very transparent. So you can play around with this here and have it exactly as you wish. Underneath that we have a very good tool for teaching when you want to mark out a direction that the market will go. When you right click, it stops to make another arrow and another arrow. Then we have the circle tool that is good to mark out sections, highlight areas. And these are the most important ones according to me. You can play around with other tools also as well. Here you have different arrows that you can use. I mostly use this one actually to mark out something special. Now underneath that you have your text box and your text tools, call outs, and so on. If you want to take some notes, then you click the text box, the first one. You write down whatever you want to write down. You choose how you want it to look. From there, you're good. Underneath that, you have different emojis that you can play around with. And yeah, if you want to really make your chart colorful and funny. This is the measurement tool. Very important to understand and know. With this one, you can measure how many pips the market moves on what time range. So let's say I want to measure this move from here till here. I go to the top, I click, and I go to the bottom. And now I can see this move has been for 70 pips. You see 70 pips here, and it has been, and it's a drawdown of 9%. So you get a lot of good information here. You can also see the volume that's been in the market during this time. Very good and useful information. You have the magnet tool. What is the magnet tool? Let's say you want to draw a line and you want to draw it from a certain top. When you have the magnet tool activated, you see how the cross here follows the closest top, the most relevant top. So I click there, boom, and the line is there now. Now I click somewhere else where the magnet points me to. So even if I have the arrow up here, the magnet will still take me to the closest top. Boom. So you see that now. Let's say you don't want to remove your drawings, but you quickly want to see what's on your chart without any drawings. Then you click this button right here. What happens then is you get a naked chart. When you click it again, you get your drawings back. And when you click this, remove 12 drawings, boom, chart is naked again. Or like I mentioned before, you can right click and click remove drawings. If we go back up to the top menu a little bit and look at this here. Here is where you can search for the pair that you want to analyze, and it can be stocks, it can be funds, it can be crypto, it can be index, it can be forex, it can be anything. Moving further from there, like I mentioned before, when you have the pro version, you can use split screen or 3 split screen. like this, for example. And this makes it possible for you to do a more accurate or easier analyze top-down, for example, or do a top-down analysis. Here you have this tool that is if you want to take a snapshot of your analysis and save it or directly post it on Twitter, for example, or create a link that you can share. Down here you have the pairs that you have selected that you want to look at, or that comes automatically with TradingView. So if you want to add a pair to your list, if this is your list, let's do it like this. Let's go to my watch list. My watch list is where I have my most important trading pairs, and it doesn't matter if it's forex or crypto or whatever it is. So when I click this button here, and I can add pairs to this list. Going back to the top menu again, we have line chart here. I forgot to mention that. We have the line chart and we have the candlestick chart. Most important. You have other types of charts, but these two are the most important. And then you have the alarm also. When you press the alarm, what happens is you choose the pair, the currency pairs that you want to put an alarm on. You choose what time, what date you want to have the alarm, or you choose what price level you want to have the alarm on. And that's very important. Why? Because let's say I want to be notified when price crosses this level right here. When price crosses this level, I want to be notified. So I set the alarm to this price level. I see here what the price level is, or I can set the alarm also by clicking here. You see this plus sign? I click this plus sign, add alert on NZD/JPY at 84.171. Boom. I clicked it. Now you see this line here. That's my alarm that I've set. If I click it again, if I click this cross here on the dotted line, then I remove the alarm. Gone. So that's a very quick and easy and basic walkthrough on TradingView. I highly recommend you to get into the charts, play around with it a lot, draw support lines, draw resistance lines, try to find the supply and demand zones, play with the Fibonacci, look at the Fibonacci levels, look and backtest how Fibonacci levels are respected by the market. Play with this tool here because this is your main tool to do technical analysis, and you master this tool, then you have a big advantage in your technical analysis.